It's Wednesday, June 3rd.
The stability and the certainty and the predictability that that agreement offers, and the importance of trying to get to there as quickly as possible.
Canada is calling on the U.S. and Mexico to re-up CUSMA for another 16 years, says negotiation deadlines loom.
Do I believe that there's a random shooting that occurred? I don't believe so, but that is part of our investigation.
RCMP investigating the motive behind a fatal shooting in Pelican Narrows.
It's a very, very dynamic time for electricity, so lots of wind and solar, nuclear, all kinds of technologies being developed, so how that impacts rates, we'll have to see.
One of the sunniest cities in Canada flipped the switch on a large solar farm. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. To Your Morning Saskatchewan, I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
You six dingoes are supposed to play a little outdoor soccer tonight, but this is the rain day, you said.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a bad one?
Well, not bad in terms of accumulation, but we are seeing chance of rain, risk of thunderstorms throughout the afternoon today.
The southeast corner, they're talking about maybe tornadoes?
Well, we did see some tornadoes over in Manitoba yesterday, so the ingredients are there.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a couple of minutes. Let's get to news. We begin with the U.S. now proposing new tariffs on a number of countries, including Canada. This is all over forced labor concerns. A report released by the U.S. Trade Representative says Canada, Mexico, Taiwan, and the U.K. are just some of the countries that could face a 10% additional tariff for allegedly not doing enough to prevent imports made with forced labor. It's something the Trump administration says creates an unlevel playing field for American workers. A 12.5% additional tariff would be imposed on China, Japan, India, South Korea, Switzerland, and dozens of other countries. The new tariffs are subject to public comment and review before taking effect. This comes ahead of the expiration of a 10% temporary tariff introduced after the Supreme Court struck down the U.S. president's sweeping import duties in February. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc has written a letter to the U.S. and Mexico calling for a renewal of CUSMA.
I think it's in the economic interest of North America to commit to that trilateral framework for another 16 years. To be able to tell you...
Minister LeBlanc and Chief Trade Negotiator Janice Charette were in Washington yesterday for talks with the U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. The minister came out of the meeting calling it positive. This CUSMA letter proposes the trade deal be renewed for 16 years and for the three countries to opt out of an annual renewal process. The Trump administration has said repeatedly it wants big changes to that agreement. The deadline to renew or review CUSMA is July 1st. Prime Minister Mark Carney says there is weakness in our country's economy, but he isn't ready to call it a recession.
The data is going to be uneven, and we see some weakness, in part because of clear decisions by the government. So we have taken back control of immigration. That's meant the population growth has flattened.
That was Prime Minister Carney's first comment on the issue since Statistics Canada released new GDP data on Friday. It showed the economy shrank slightly for 2 straight quarters, meeting the technical definition of a recession. Prime Minister Carney also said the foundation is being laid right now for a stronger economy. RCMP investigating the motive behind Monday's fatal shooting in Pelican Narrows. The incident that saw another person injured sparked a dangerous persons alert. Laura Woodward with what we know so far.
RCMP were tight-lipped about the details of the Pelican Narrows shooting, saying the investigation is still in the early stages. Police say a woman was killed and a man suffered serious injuries after a shooting near the community's health center Monday afternoon. A male suspect was arrested at a residence in Pelican Narrows, but no charges have been laid. Investigators have not said whether the shooting was gang or drug-related or whether the suspect and victims were known to each other.
Do I believe that there's a random shooting that occurred? I don't believe so, but that is part of our investigation, and we're mindful of both incidents, if it's targeted or if it is random. That's a part of our investigation.
The shooting is part of a disturbing trend in the area.
Violent crime has increased by 49% over the last 10 years. This is extremely concerning, especially considering the small local population.
Dr. John Michael Stevens has worked at the clinic in Pelican Narrows for 9 years, just steps away from where Monday's shooting took place. He's seen firsthand a shift in the type of violence facing the community.
Since COVID, there's been an extreme uptake in a different type of drugs, so cocaine and crystal meth, and that's driven a different type of violence. The community is very, it's broken. It's a beautiful community that's really broken.
The Peter Valentine Cree Nation says out of caution, schools and the band office will remain closed for the week. Court has been canceled and the health center will be limited to serious medical clients for the remainder of the week. In an effort to respond to the growing violence, this fall, the RCMP plans to deploy officers from Saskatoon as a new rotational shift aimed at boosting police presence in the north. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One of the sunniest cities in Canada flipped the switch on a large solar farm yesterday. Jeremy Dodge, a big day for power generation in your city.
Yeah, Darryl, Saskatoon's 2.8 megawatt solar farm now generating power on 11 acres of land off of Dundonald Avenue and Circle Drive South. The price tag for the project is expected to come in around $7.3 million and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by roughly 23,000 tons over its 30-year life cycle. That's equivalent to removing 160 cars annually. And despite the project's cost nearly doubling since the budget was first approved in 2021, the city says it expects to recover its costs in 15 years. But with electricity demand and generation going through big changes across the country, the city says it could be quicker than that.
My best guess is that we're probably going to pay it off faster than we think we are. So we'll see what happens. It's a very dynamic time for electricity. So lots of wind and solar, nuclear, all kinds of technologies being developed. So how that impacts rates, we'll have to see.
The city says electricity produced there will power about 400 homes each year. Water in Prince Albert may soon be analyzed for the presence of 550 unique drugs and substances. Monday night, City Council voted to enter a memorandum of understanding with Health Canada to participate in the National Wastewater Drug Surveillance Program. The city says more information on substance use would allow the municipality, law enforcement, and health and social agencies to make better informed decisions regarding substances in the community.
As much as it is uncomfortable or unpleasant to talk about or to face, to move ahead successfully on challenging things like addictions and the drug trade, we need good intel.
The Prince Albert Police Service submitted a letter to City Council of support of that motion. Well, Darryl, Kayleen mentioned it off the top. Severe storms rolled through southern Manitoba yesterday.
And we can tell you at least 3 tornadoes touched down. You're looking at videos sent in to CTV News from areas near Carman, Winkler, Morden, and Manitou. Environment and Climate Change Canada confirms tornadoes touched down south of Carman around 3:25 p.m. and again at 5:15. Earlier, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a tornado was reported southeast of Dauphin, Manitoba. Red tornado warnings were issued in several municipalities throughout the afternoon, and Manitoba dealt with some severe weather events as well on Tuesday. Environment Canada says 6-centimeter hail, that's about the size of a tennis ball, was reported west of Baldur. And the weather agency says heavy rain and hail were reported in several other areas as that system rolled through. I always say better there than here, but is there potential for that to be here?
Well, we are seeing the ingredients for some severe thunderstorms today. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is coming. I'm going to show you on our radar in just a moment. We have already started to see some precipitation in central Saskatchewan so far this morning. Right now in Regina, we're not seeing that. We're at 10 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. Winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're expecting the winds to be lower today than what we have been seeing in previous days. In Saskatoon, again, we have been seeing a little bit of that moisture this morning. We're at 13 degrees to wake us up, and winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. Let's take a look at this radar and satellite, though, because as we just talked about in news, some very severe weather over in Manitoba yesterday. That's all that color there, and that's what we're looking for when we're talking about severe weather. Saskatchewan, not really seeing a whole lot of that. We did get a little bit of that thunderstorm activity up near Prince Albert yesterday and into those overnight hours, just not quite as severe as what we were seeing over in Manitoba. And that severe weather isn't quite done over in Manitoba. As you can see, a lot more of that color there, the yellows and the reds and the oranges. We do see a little bit of it around the Parkland region with that yellow color currently this morning. Still seeing that system right around Saskatoon, although we are getting a little bit of a break, it seems, on the camera there. Into the afternoon, only seeing a little bit of that color again throughout central Saskatchewan there. And then into the evening hours, we are seeing it mainly again hovering over in Manitoba. So we are seeing some precipitation. The risk of a thunderstorm does exist for many places. It's just not quite as high as what we're seeing over in Manitoba. We are getting a break, it seems, Thursday morning, but then in the afternoon, getting a little bit more of that precipitation moving into the southwest corner of the province tomorrow. Today's forecast looking slightly below the seasonal average today, so those temperatures have fallen. 19 degrees for Saskatoon and Regina, 18 degrees for Moose Jaw, 16 degrees for Swift Current, 19 in Weyburn. And the warmest temperatures today expected down through that southeast corner of the province. Estevan expecting 21 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. The winds, as we mentioned, going to be a bit lower than what we have been seeing for a lot of places in the province. We're seeing them peaking around 40 kilometers per hour for some areas, mainly those areas popping up with that yellow color down south. But Prince Albert could also be seeing those winds peaking at 40 kilometers per hour. We know that these numbers can and do often fluctuate, but right now, here's what we're projecting for total rainfall by the end of the day. About 6 millimeters for Saskatoon, 5 millimeters for Regina, and 3 millimeters expected for Swift Current and Moose Jaw. Well, in case you missed it, this just might be the most Canadian collab ever. Beaver Tails and Kraft Dinner have collided for 2 new Canadian flavors. First, the KD Takeover Beaver Dog, which is a hot dog wrapped in beaver tail pastry, topped with Kraft Dinner and ketchup. And if that's not your jam, how about a KD Poutine, loaded Kraft Dinner beaver bacon and chives? In a statement, Beaver Tails says some partnerships just feel meant to be and say it's all about turning familiar comfort food into something new and unique. Would you try it?
Yeah, I heard. Was that a good or a bad
Yeah, that hot dog looks incredible. I love Beaver Tails, and those other things with it are fine. I'm sure together they would be amazing.
I don't know if I would try it.
I like all of those things, but I like them separate. what's the question of the day led us down this path?
Yeah, so this got us talking this morning, got us thinking, what is a weird food combo that you really like?
Oh, I can't even think.
Do you have one, Jeremy?
I'm a pretty mundane eater.
I will try, like I say, I try anything once, but I can't think of anything too out there I have regularly.
Yeah.
You're a picky eater.
Very picky, yeah.
Daryl's a very picky eater, if you don't know that.
This doesn't lend itself to me for sure.
Like water and ice cube would be your weird combo.
Yeah, we want to hear from
crazy
you.
Man.
Text us. Text us on the text line or scan that QR code on your screen. Oh my goodness. We're back after this. A long-awaited piece of medical equipment has arrived in southeast Saskatchewan. An MRI unit built by Siemens Healthineers has arrived at Estevan's St. Joseph's Hospital. It was unpacked and unloaded off a semi-truck. back, the result of a campaign that raised millions of dollars for this project. The St. Joseph's Hospital Foundation is thanking donors, including Elaine Walcom, who kicked off the campaign with a $2 million donation 2 years ago. Work will now begin to install the machine and get it operational. The race to fill healthcare vacancies across the country continues, including here at home. One of the government's goals is to keep graduating medical students here in Saskatchewan. Jacob Carr reports.
After years of hard work, Peyton Skeen and Jaylyn Maletta are ready to enter the workforce after graduating from the psychiatric nursing program at Saskatchewan Polytechnic. But while healthcare workers are in high demand, finding a job wasn't that simple.
I was very surprised at how difficult it was to obtain a job, just because there is such a shortage and whatnot. I thought it would not be easy, but I kind of thought it would be, less of a challenge, and it was actually pretty hard.
The staffing shortages referred to by Skeen was referenced by the Saskatchewan Union of Nurses last year. Their president, Bryce Boynton, claiming that nurses at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, among others, reported shortages. But according to an expert in the field of finances, the provincial government needs to focus heavily on retention of Saskatchewan nurses.
It's $70,000 to $80,000 to replace a nurse. If we use a small conservative estimate of even $15,000, 15,000 times 1,500 staff leaving every year, that was $22.5 million leaking out of the organization.
Douglas says that in order to fill shortages, leaders in the province should be attracting workers from other sectors like retail and hospitality.
Perhaps attract back people who have left the profession, people who've gone back to school, they've gone to other opportunities, they're working for agency nurses. If we can create the conditions of work that are attractive to these people, they might come back to Saskatchewan, they might come back to nursing.
As for Skeen and Maletta, they have secured work as psychiatric nurses in Saskatchewan, looking to provide help that is badly needed.
After seeing someone struggle and not really having the resources there, I decided to go into psych nursing to hopefully be that resource for someone someday, even if I can just help one person. At the end of the day, that's been my goal.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at 10 degrees, 13 degrees through Saskatoon. We have started to see some of that precipitation this morning. By lunchtime, both cities have a risk of seeing some thunderstorms, 18 degrees for Regina and 17 degrees for Saskatoon. And by final bell, 19 degrees for both major Saskatchewan cities. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. The average price is down in Regina. It's now at $165.9. You might be able to find it for as low as $145.9. In Saskatoon, the same average price, but you might be able to find it for as low as $155.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola at $736.15 per ton. The futures price, $778.10 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $285.20 per ton, and red spring wheat at $276.41 per ton. The Canadian dollar is down this morning. It's at 72.29 cents US. And coming up in about 10 minutes, how to reel in the big one with our fishing expert, Jason Matity. Stay with us.
Good morning. Time for some more news. The evacuation order previously issued for the RM of Shellbrook has now been lifted. The roughly 130 people from 70 homes are now able to return. And the 53 patients and residents of the Parkland Integrated Healthcare Centre in Shellbrook who were preemptively evacuated from the facility are in the process of going back. Now the RM, along with the nearby hamlet of Holbein, are on alert for changes as crews work to battle the lobstick fire, which is one of the two significant uncontained wildfires in Saskatchewan. Denair Beach residents gathered in the community yesterday, marking 1 year since the Wolf Fire devastated the northern village. This was the aftermath of the fire, which destroyed more than 200 homes and structures in Denair Beach. The community's deputy mayor says rebuilding has presented challenges, with some residents still working to reach settlements with their insurance companies. So far, 11 homes have been rebuilt in the community, with more on the way. She says the day was about reflecting on what the community has been through and acknowledging its resilience.
When you drive into town and you see where we were and where we are, it's so utterly impressive. We have done such a tremendous job here at the village. taking our lives back.
The deputy mayor adds that while conditions are dry, there are parallels to last year. The community is prepared should another wildfire threaten that area. RCMP are investigating a suspicious death on Montreal Lake Cree Nation. Montreal Lake and Waskesiu RCMP were called to a report of an injured man at a home on Montreal Lake Cree Nation at about 1 a.m. Monday. Officers found a man and provided first aid until EMS arrived, but he was declared dead on scene. The victim, 24-year-old Stephen Beatty from Timber Bay. The investigation now handed over, treated as a homicide. It was now deemed suspicious in nature. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. CBS News has fired longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley. Pelley was let go after a tense meeting with his bosses at CBS News. A day earlier, Pelley criticized management at a staff-wide meeting in which he accused editor Barry Weiss of murdering 60 Minutes. CBS made wholesale changes to the show last week, including bringing in a new executive producer. The 59th season of 60 Minutes starts this fall. The federal government and Quebec have reached a new deal on infrastructure worth billions of dollars.
We sat down, we made the priorities, we're going to get on with it. It's what is good for Longueuil, for Quebec, for Canada, and now it's there. And the intention of everybody here is to make sure that these agreements move to action.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada will transfer nearly $10 billion over 10 years to fund infrastructure projects. The majority of the money will go to public transit, while more than $1 billion will be used to upgrade and expand hospitals. Another $2 billion will be put toward housing and community centres across Quebec. Prime Minister Carney says the goal is to offer communities more rapid, affordable and dependable infrastructure. The 3-year-old girl who was critically hurt when a bouncy castle flew into the air during a storm has now died.
This bouncy house fly maybe 60, 70 feet up in the air, and I heard someone say there's kids in there. And at that moment, my heart froze, and we all just didn't know what to do, and we saw it fly and hit a tent, I think it was, if I remember correctly, and then it hit the floor, and all I remember is all of us just started rushing to that bouncy house to try and get kids out.
This man helped organize the annual church event over the weekend. In all, 11 people were injured. The coroner's office says it will be investigating the 3-year-old's death and will also be looking into safety of inflatable bounce houses. A survey of Saskatchewan schools by the Canadian Union of Public Employees shows many education support workers are being asked to perform medical procedures for some students. Nearly 1,000 workers like EAs and caretakers, along with counselors, took part in that survey. Finds many are asked to help students with administering medications like EpiPens and insulin, or even assist with things like tube feeding. CUPE representatives say most education staff don't have the proper training to perform these tasks.
Sometimes with absolutely no training. There's schools that will say to the mom, come in and show us what to do for 1 hour, and then that's it. There's no professional person.
CUPE wants the government to establish a task force to develop safe and consistent standards for workers and to clearly identify procedures which should be conducted by a health professional or at home rather than at school. Among others, in response to the province says school divisions are responsible for assessing individual student needs with the best interest of their overall health and safety in mind. Everyone knows the city of Moose Jaw is one of the most relaxing facilities, the Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa. What's been a mineral pool for the last 30 years will now become a full spa, thermal spa experience. The more than $2 million revitalization will consist of new saunas inside and outside the hotel, in addition to a cold plunge and a sequence of hot and cold showers. The hotel's general manager says the renovation is the most important upgrade since the spa was built.
I think Temple Gardens is a very special place. We're doing a lot of work now to stay current and to even move ahead of the industry, and I think this puts us as one of the top spas in Canada.
Construction for the pool and saunas expected to be finished by June 19th. As a result, the pools are closed until then. You heard the mayor yesterday say that on this program. Renovations for hotel rooms will continue until next year. Jimmy Kimmel may be getting closer to walking off the stage for the last time. His current contract is up next May, and he seems to be leaning into his departure. In a recent interview with Vulture, the 58-year-old admitted he feels a little bit defeated following CBS's cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. rare. Kimmel says he wants the freedom to pursue personal hobbies like fishing. This, of course, also comes after ABC suspended Kimmel's show for 6 days last year following a controversial monologue. A late goal by the Golden Knights turned out to be the winner in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final.
3.5 to go. Hurdle into the dot to Sissons. Back for Hurdle. He scores!
Thomas Hurdle scored late in the third, giving the Vegas Golden Knights a 5-4 win over the Carolina Hurricanes, who came into the final beating the Montreal Canadiens, as you know. Vegas has now won 7 straight games. Game 2 goes tomorrow. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Before we do that, Kayleen, I want to introduce you to Alan Sanger. He's retiring this year as high school principal in North Battleford. His band played a retirement show over the weekend. I guess the drummer is also retiring from teaching, we're told, but we didn't get the drummer's name. So enjoy your next chapter, gentlemen. What a way to go out. Going out with a bang.
How rock and roll is that?
I don't know many principals in my schools that played guitar and wore Hawaiian shirts and the whole deal.
No, my principal was cool. He wasn't that cool. All right, let's turn our attention outside. We have started to see some of that precipitation so far this morning, mainly over in Saskatoon. You can see a little bit of moisture on our traffic camera there. Right now, we are getting a little bit of a break from that. So if you do have to head out on the roads, I suggest getting out there now. We do have the chance of seeing some more of that rain in just a little bit here. In Regina, we haven't started to see that precipitation yet, but we are expecting to see it later on into the afternoon hours. Right now, we're just starting the day with a mix of sun and cloud. Let's turn our attention to those current temperatures now. It is a little bit cooler today than what we have been seeing, especially up north. Those heat warnings have officially come to an end, so none of those are left in the province. 3 degrees right now to wake us up in Stony Rapids. Only 7 degrees in South End, 9 degrees in La Ronge, 14 in Prince Albert. We start to really get into more of that green color there, so some warmer temperatures, a lot more of those double digits, 13 degrees in Melfort and 15 degrees in Hudson Bay. Down in the south, again, seeing some cooler temperatures to start the day in East End, only 9 degrees there, but everywhere else we're seeing a lot of those double digits. 11 degrees in Assiniboia, 10 degrees in Regina, and 13 degrees to wake you up in Saskatoon. Later on this afternoon, we are seeing a chance of rain, risk of thunderstorms for many places in central and southern Saskatchewan. The total accumulations that we're expecting aren't super high. 18 degrees though for Moose Jaw, 19 for Regina, and 19 degrees for Saskatoon as well. Warmer through the southeast corner of the province. Estevan, you'll be enjoying a nice afternoon high of 21 degrees with mainly cloudy skies. These numbers have changed slightly even from the last time we took a look at them. 5 millimeters now on tap for Saskatoon, only about 4 for Regina, about 3 millimeters expected for Moose Jaw and Swift Current, and about 1 more millimeter of rain expected in Prince Albert. Now here's a look at the rest of your work week and the weekend. 22 degrees tomorrow. We're seeing a lot of that rain clearing up other than through the southwest corner of the province around Swift Current tomorrow. 26 degrees on Friday for Regina, 30 degrees by Saturday, but we are seeing the risk of a thunderstorm returning mainly into the evening hours. The afternoon is looking rather sunny. 21 on Sunday, 23 by Monday, and 25 by Tuesday. In Saskatoon, 22 degrees tomorrow, also seeing a mix of sun and cloud. 25 by Friday with the risk of a thunderstorm returning. Some rain continuing through Saturday, 24 degrees. And Sunday's looking okay right now on the radar. 20 degrees, mainly cloudy. 23 by Monday and 26 by Tuesday with some more of that rain.
Hot weather usually translates into hot fishing action, especially for one of Saskatchewan's smallest, prettiest, and tastiest fish, the yellow perch. To talk about that easy yet different way to catch those striped critters is our resident fishing expert, the angler master himself, Jason Madity, getfishing.ca. Jason, where do we begin?
Thanks, Darrell. That was quite a build-up.
You're welcome.
I better give you some good advice.
I'm here for you.
You know, what it is perch typically are schooling fish. So they're great fish for kids. They're great fish to introduce people to angling. And they're quite common. You can find them in places like Blackstrap is very, very good perch fishery, Buffalo Pound, Kenosee, some other areas up north, just around our major centers. So that's the place. Yeah.
Right in front of you, you got some elements we're going to need if we're going to be successful.
Yeah, and it's always challenging. You and I talked about this off camera, but these are the Z-Man microplastics. There you go. So I'm going to try to get them on camera the best I can here. And what I'll do is I'll mention it in social media later. But basically, artificials are a great option at this time of year. Normally, you need like a bobber, like a float like this, and you float like a bait underneath. And that works really, really well all the time for perch. But sometimes they want something faster, and that's where the plastics come into play.
What kind of lure are we after?
Well, basically, what you might remember, a lot of us who started fishing, you use something with a twister tail on it, you cast, and it's basically plastic that floats through the water.
Catches the attention.
Yeah, exactly. But with perch, you want to really, really downsize it. Like some of this stuff is 1/30th of an ounce. This one is 1/8 of an ounce. That again, we're struggling to see as the viewer. But this is the VMC hair jig, works really, really well too. And that was when we ended up doing a segment that if you go to getfishing.ca, you can watch how we break it all down. We weren't catching perch that day. They wanted something aggressive. They wanted something like this, and we just cleaned up on them.
I got to ask you, we've had some elements of late. It's been windy. This past weekend was windy. You said you had some success. How do you have success in those conditions, casting especially?
Yeah, well, you know, the real challenge is obviously from shore. You want to try to pick a shoreline where the wind's at your back. That will very much aid in your casting distance. That's really going to carry those lures out a little bit farther. But the wind can be quite beneficial in that it stirs things up and it gets fish moving and feeding. Because if things are too calm, the baits, the minnows, the crayfish, they'll all hide in the rocks. And people get a little, I say people, the fish get a little lethargic and you know, got to hunt their way through. But when things get riled up, it's go time. And you can often clean up on a lot of fish very fast in windy conditions, especially walleyes.
Good tips as always. Where do we get more information?
Go to getfishing.ca, and as I say, we break down the entire artificial perch plan of what you need to do to catch fish without using bait, which is a really, really fun way to do it.
Next time Jason's in, we're talking free fishing weekends. So if you've never tried it out, we've got some tips for you coming up.
Construction is proceeding on schedule for a major expansion of the K+S potash mine near Bethune. Work on the $3 billion project began last summer, and it will take until 2040 for all phases to be completed. The expansion will double production at the mine to 4 million metric tons per year. The first phase includes a facility to compact the potash for shipping and construction of a mine-owned power plant.
Yes, so over the winter there was lots of action in the office with getting the engineering in line and everything. But we really started to see a pickup in field activity in the spring. So at the end of March, I believe, piling started on our compaction expansion project, and it's rolled into a couple of the other aspects of our project over the last few weeks.
The current construction will be completed by 2030 with further work to follow. National Trails Day is right around the corner, and with that comes free entry to Saskatchewan's provincial parks. Janelle Lippi spending her morning at Buffalo Pound for more on what we can look forward to.
Good morning. We have made it down to Buffalo Pound. Saturday's National Trails Day. We've got lots of exciting things to talk about, and I've got Dave with me, who is the park manager. Dave, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, no, my pleasure.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what Buffalo Pound is offering for people who are taking advantage of National Trails Day.
Well, us, along with over a dozen other parks within Saskatchewan parks, are hosting guided trail events and other day use events centered around trails for everybody to come in and take advantage of. And with it being free park entry on Trails Day, it's a wonderful opportunity for everybody to get out and experience trails, revisit old trails, explore new trails.
Absolutely, it is. All right, so a great way to get some fresh air and enjoy this beautiful scenery. What have you guys seen previous years? What are you hoping to see out of this year?
We've always been a very trail-centered park. We have a lot of activity on our trails, whether they be interpretive trails or our bike trails, which are a significant component of what we offer here at Buffalo Pound. It grows exponentially. This is the first year, though, that our free park entry day aligns with Trails Day, so that's a wonderful opportunity for us to continue to promote and attract more visitors to the park.
Absolutely, it is, Dave. So if somebody's looking for a little bit more information, where can they go for that?
saskparks.ca is a great place to start. There was a news release that went out last week that outlined all the parks that have identified activities geared towards Trails Day and free park entry. That would be the first place. Contact your local park directly, see if there is anything that you want to take advantage of. And by all means, it's a wonderful opportunity for everybody to get out and explore new places, try new things. And Trails is such a big part of what we do in parks.
All right, Dave, thank you so much for that. And once again, this is coming up on Saturday. Perfect opportunity to get out, enjoy some fresh air, and even enjoy some sunshine.
It's June 3rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Emmy. She's turning 5 years old, wishing you a super fun day. Lots of love from your mom, dad, and Layla. Happy birthday to Pauline. She's turning 9 years old, and we hope you have a great day with lots of love from your mom, dad, Patrice, and Paula. Turning 7 years old is Lily. Happy birthday to you with love coming your way from your mom, dad, sister, and baby brother. Enjoy your special day. 1 year older than that, Brayden is turning 8 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from your Baba, Guido, Mom, Damien, and Parker. And happy birthday to Deborah. She's turning 70 years old today. Sending her love and happiness today is Angelina, Rob, and Emerson.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Chase, I'm so excited because I asked and you delivered. At 7:10, we're going to play some of those off-key for VIP entries, but you're still looking for more.
Still looking for more. Those are just some fantastic ones. You'll have to give the disclaimer that those aren't the professional artists coming to Country Thunder. We want to get you to Country Thunder with some general admission passes, a chance to be upgraded to platinum. All you have to do, if you're listening with the iHeartRadio app, there's the talkback feature, a little microphone. Click on that and sing your heart out. One of your favorites that's coming to Country Thunder this year. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You are entered off-key for VIP. Goes on all of June. So you could have those platinum passes just by singing. I'm very excited. Make sure that you hear these when they are played. We also have Name That Sound coming up next hour. $2,600 to play for. That's coming up at 7:40.
And right away, we're going to announce the winner of our 20K payday, too. So stay tuned for that. Chase, thanks.
I'll be waiting for my call.
We're learning about the death of two-time Grammy Award-winning singer Peabo Bryson. The family of Bryson saying the voice behind Oscar-winning Disney classic songs Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World passed away Tuesday, just days after suffering a stroke. Bryson was 75 years old. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. The 25th Tribeca Festival gets underway today in New York. Robert De Niro started the film festival in 2002 to help the area recover from the 9/11 terror attacks. Will Arnett will star alongside Kristen Stewart in Prime Video's The Challenger. The Amazon series follows Sally Ride's historic journey to become the first American woman in space. And happy birthday to broadcast journalist Anderson Cooper. He turns 59 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
For some sidebar. Jeremy, you've enjoyed some R&R. How about you go first?
Oh, very well, yes. This is such a hard part of my job. Here are some examples of why English is such a hard language to learn.
So the past tense of sneeze would be...
sneezed.
Which means the past tense of freeze would be...
freezed.
No. What would you think? It would be froze. It's because that's why. And if the past tense of match...
because that's why.
I love the teacher's tone. So confusing, though. And he's not wrong, right? Words like catch and caught, take, took, read, read. English is so hard.
We are doing this with my son right now.
Well, it's also hard because we have in English, like, 3 different ways to say and spell your and to, and like, it's a hard language to learn.
And they trigger me all.
It really is.
If you've ever wondered what birds sound like, giving directions, wonder no more.
Mate, I'm on the branch. Where are you?
Mate, I'm here. I'm looking for you.
Yeah, I'm on the branch.
Yeah, I know you're on a branch, but
It's that branch I told you about.
mate, I'm going to need you to get a little bit more specific for me.
It's like a whitey
That's
brown.
like giving some birds some personalities, right?
I love this one. That's good.
This
I'm
is
on
put
the branch,
together.
man.
Cell phones, videos, voices by the artist Sam Cotton.
Okay, I like it.
Some a little different
look
for you.
him up. That's good.
We're going to take a quick time out. We'll have your news headlines and, of course, your weather forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's Wednesday, June 3rd.
It looks like prices are now heading back up more rapidly than I think most are comfortable with.
Rising costs, the price of gas skyrocketing across the country after a brief drop last week. You've waited, you've emailed, you've texted, you've called. In 10 minutes, the winner of the $20K Pay Your Bills contest will be announced.
We really started to see a pickup in field activity.
Construction proceeding on a schedule for a major expansion of the K+S potash mine near Bethune. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
You said in our inbox it's a bunch of really yuck combinations.
So our question of the day today, if you missed it, is what is a weird food combo that you like?
My son loves ketchup with his rice.
Okay, so there's a lot that include ketchup.
Okay.
I will tease you with that. People put ketchup on everything. Everybody's a freak.
I just put the QR code in the screen. If you want to answer the question of the day, just scan that and it'll send us an email. Let's get to your news headlines for this part of the hour, 6:58. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc says his team in Washington had a positive meeting with American Trade Representative Jameson Greer.
We presented a number of specific proposals to Ambassador Greer that we think are good in the broader context of the North American economy and respond to some long-standing issues that the United States has raised with us.
LeBlanc didn't share those proposals, but confirmed he raised the issue of tariffs, and he talked about the letter to Mexico and the U.S. officially backing a 16-year renewal of the North American Free Trade Pact. The review deadline for the trade agreement is July 1st. LeBlanc said he and Greer agreed to speak again next week. Meantime, Greer's office is proposing new tariffs on 60 countries, including Canada, over its forced labor concerns. Canada, Mexico, Taiwan, and the U.K. are among 15 countries that could face a 10% additional duty for allegedly not doing enough to prevent imports made with forced labor. The Trump administration says that creates an unlevel playing field for American workers. A 12.5% additional tariff would be imposed on the remaining 45 countries, including China, India, and Australia. RCMP investigating the motive behind a fatal shooting in Pelican Narrows. Police say a woman was killed and a man suffered serious injuries after a shooting near the community health center on Monday afternoon. A man was arrested at a residence in Pelican Narrows, but charges have yet to be laid. Investigators have not said whether the suspect and victims knew each other, but RCMP Inspector Ashley St. Germain says she does not believe the shooting was random.
Do I believe that there's a random shooting that occurred? I don't believe so, but that is part of our investigation, and we're mindful of both incidents. If it's targeted or if it is random, that's a part of our investigation. And
the shooting is part of a disturbing trend, RCMP say, of violent crime in Pelican Narrows. It's increased 49% over the past decade. One of the sunniest cities in Canada flipped the switch on a large solar farm yesterday. Jeremy?
Yeah, the city of Saskatoon now generating its own clean power, Daryl. As Keenan Sorokon reports, the solar farm that was years in the making is officially up and running.
A new solar farm is putting the city's slogan of Saskatoon Shines to work.
To not only have that natural resource as part of living here, but how we are able to
embrace it and use it to help support the generations ahead.
Block flipped the switch Tuesday to turn on the 2.8 megawatt Dundonald Avenue solar farm. The 14-acre project located between Montgomery Place and Circle Drive South was first floated back in 2017 and has undergone a few changes before Tuesday's grand opening.
I remember the day we approved this and wondering whether or not Saskatoon would be ready to make a transition to diversify.
More than 4,500 solar panels are expected to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by over 23,000 tons over 30 years, equivalent to removing 160 cars from the road every year, as it produces enough electricity to power over 400 homes annually. The cost of the project doubled from its original approval to nearly $8.5 million last year, but is expected to come in at roughly $7.3 million, about a third of which is being paid by the federal and provincial governments. The city estimates the project will pay for itself in about 15 years, but it could be sooner depending on how future rates are rolled out.
My best guess is that we're probably going to pay it off faster than we think we are. So we'll see what happens.
Nearby residents are pleased to see the patch of land that wasn't much more than a field of weeds getting a new purpose.
It's a sign of progress. I mean, I think we all realize that solar is not the end all for power generation, you know, but I mean, we have lots of sun. We got a perfect spot here for it.
Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl, how about some details on that severe weather that rolled through Manitoba yesterday?
At this point, we can tell you at least 3 tornadoes touched down. You were looking at video sent in from areas near Carman, Winkler, Morden, and Manitou. Environment and Climate Change Canada confirms tornadoes touched down south of Carman around 3:25 p.m., again around 5:15. Earlier, around 3 o'clock, a tornado was reported southeast of Dauphin. Red tornado warnings were issued in several municipalities throughout the afternoon, and Manitoba dealt with some severe weather events as well. Environment Canada says 6-centimeter hail, that's about the size of a tennis ball, was reported near Baldur, and the weather agency says heavy rain and hail were reported in several other areas as that system rolled through. The Saskatchewan Polytechnic Spring Convocation is underway, and that includes several nursing grads that will be soon entering the professional workforce. Retaining nurses in Saskatchewan has been a problem recently, as 2025 Saskatchewan Union of Nurses survey of nearly 1,800 registered nurses found that more than 50% of the workforce is considering leaving the industry altogether. The nursing union also reported that nurses have reported staffing shortages, but despite the lack of workers, that does not guarantee a recent graduate a job coming out of school.
I was very surprised at how difficult it was to obtain a job, just because there is such a shortage and whatnot. I thought it would not be easy, but I kind of thought it would be, less of a challenge, and it was actually pretty hard.
She hopes that psychiatric nursing can be spread to areas of the province that need it. A long-awaited piece of medical equipment has arrived in southeast Saskatchewan. An MRI unit built by Siemens Healthineers has arrived at Estevan's St. Joseph's Hospital. It was unpacked and unloaded off a semi-truck, the result of a campaign that raised millions of dollars. The St. Joseph's Hospital Foundation is thanking donors, including Elaine Walcom, who kicked off that campaign, you'll remember, with a $2 million donation a couple of years ago. Work will now begin to install that machine and get it up and running. It's a big day in Saskatoon as Women in Motion 2026 is set to take center stage. Our Mike Siona is at Riverside Tennis Club with the details. Good morning, Mike.
Well, Women in Motion, the second annual here in Saskatoon at Riverside Badminton and Tennis Club, is all set for tonight, and Casey Mintzler is here to tell us all about it. Give us the details on the event.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Women in Motion, we're so thrilled to be doing it for a second year here at Riverside. It is tonight, it's from 5 till 8:30, and it's free to attend. We've got panels, we've got a vendor village, we've got an awesome keynote speaker in Corliss Russell. There's vendor villages, there's a free food and beverages. We've got everything. There's dance breaks, and the Rough Rider cheerleaders are going to be here as well.
Nice.
Giveaways, everything. Right.
And the impetus for all of this, obviously, is to celebrate those women that are in motion, the movers and the shakers in and around our community.
Absolutely, yeah. This is to celebrate women in sport and entrepreneurship. We figured with the ITF World Tour coming to Riverside Badminton and Tennis Club in July, this is a really nice way to kick it off, get people into the club, and really see how awesome Saskatchewan is and the businesses and women that are here in the province.
Now, the other thing we have to note, it is a rain or shine event.
Yes.
The good news is the rain hopefully should be done, and it looks like we've scrubbed the courts here. Everything's nice and clean.
Yeah, we've got everything cleaned up and ready to go. Rain or shine, because we can go into the clubhouse if it's raining, but we have a jam-packed 3.5 hours here, so if you can't come at 5 o'clock or 5:30 when the doors open at 5, come on down. There's something happening for the full 3.5 hours, and so you're not going to miss a thing if you come a little bit later too.
And we have the opportunity to pre-register, which is important obviously for head count, right?
Yeah, 100%. Just thanks to our sponsors, we do this for free, so we like to have a nice big head count. Tennis Canada and the Status of Women office have made it possible, so register online at saskatoontennis.com under the ticketing portion on the page, and then come on down, it's free.
There you go. That's Women in Motion. That is tonight right here at Riverside. And then, well, we mentioned the ITF tennis tournament. We'll be talking about that as the morning continues as well.
Thank you, Mike. Michael Tiziona on location for us this morning. In other news, the Saskatoon Mamba and Calgary Surge will play a neutral site game in the far north to celebrate Canada Day. The teams will face off in Whitehorse, Yukon on July the 3rd. It's being called the first professional basketball game to be played in the territories. In addition to the game, organizers say there will be a 3-on-3 tournament, coaching clinic, and community camp in the days leading up to the big game. It's the 5th neutral site game to be played in the league's 8-year history. The league, Real Entertainment, and Culture and Sport Yukon have agreed to bring the event back for the next 3 years. Kayleen, it is time. Finally time. We've got the calls, we've got the emails. Everybody's been impatiently waiting for this announcement.
Absolutely, Daryl. Thank you to everybody who played along with CTV in your morning and Affinity Credit Union. There were so many entries, and now it's time to celebrate. Congratulations to the winner of Pay Your Bills, Sandra Kearney. You're taking home an incredible $20,000. That's life-changing money just for playing along. The Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest powered by Affinity Credit Union, an affinity for you. Congratulations, Sandra. What an amazing day you're having. Let's turn our attention outside, though, for Regina. 11 degrees right now to wake you up. Again, we're talking about a whole lot of cloud cover so far this morning. Winds a lot lower than what we have been seeing in the mornings for the past few days, currently coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we have seen some moisture out there this morning. Right now, we're just talking about some overcast skies and temperatures at 13 degrees. Winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. Now, you may have heard in news, we were talking about some severe weather over in Manitoba yesterday. This is what that looked like, and yes, it did come with 3 confirmed tornadoes. If you are seeing any of that extreme weather, Environment Canada is asking you to send in those photos so they can help track and rate that severe weather. Regina didn't see as much of that yesterday, but Saskatoon did see more of that precipitation overnight and into again early this morning. Prince Albert as well, getting some of those colors indicating that storm activity. We do have a risk of seeing some more thunderstorms today. It's just not as likely as what we're seeing over in Manitoba, with more of that color lighting up the screen over there with the oranges and the yellows. We're seeing just a little blip on there around Saskatoon to start the day. We do see a little bit more popping up just east of Prince Albert into the afternoon hours. So the chance of showers there, but the risk of the thunderstorm is also there. We have the ingredients. It's just not as likely as what we're seeing over in Manitoba. Later on into the overnight hours, a lot of that is clearing in terms of precipitation. Thursday, for the most part, is going to be a mix of sun and clouds for a lot of places other than the southwest corner of the province. Of course, around Swift Current, going to be seeing some more of that precipitation. How much rain by the end of the day? Well, these numbers have changed a little bit since the last time we looked out there, mainly right around Saskatoon. Now expecting about 3 more millimeters by the end of the day, joining them with that number, Swift Current and Moose Jaw. 4 millimeters now expected by the end of the day for Regina, and about 1 millimeter expected for Prince Albert. Coming along with that rain and risk of a thunderstorm, going to be temperatures just barely below that seasonal average. 19 degrees for Saskatoon and Regina, 18 for Moose Jaw, 16 degrees over in Swift Current, 19 for Weyburn, and down through Estevan, that's where we'll be seeing the warmer temperatures through the southeast corner. 21 degrees for Estevan. Also seeing some lower wind speeds this afternoon. Those areas down down south lighting up in yellow. Could be seeing them up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Other than that, a fairly calm day. Here's a look at your rural forecast. We are seeing some of that precipitation. A risk of a thunderstorm in Watrous today, 19 degrees, 17 degrees in Wynyard, and 18 degrees in Outlook. Down south, seeing some of those warmer temperatures, a little bit more sunshine through the southeast corner of the province. 19 degrees for Carlisle, though, 18 in Coronach, 19 in Pilot Butte, and 19 degrees in Lumsden. Also seeing a risk of a thunderstorm in Govan, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 19 degrees this afternoon, and winds coming in up to 30 kilometers per hour.
Let's go back out to Mike Siona now, who is celebrating women in sport, business, and leadership. Mike.
Well, Landon Grube and Casey Mintzler join us today on Women in Motion Day here in Saskatoon, the second annual event. And Casey, let's talk all about this, really a celebration of women in sport and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got women in sport and entrepreneurship, as you said, here in Saskatchewan from all over the province. We've even got some people coming from Toronto, from Tennis Canada. We've got people coming from all over to participate in our opportunity panel, our performance panel. We've got our keynote speaker, Corliss Russell, vendor village, food, beverage, giveaways, almost $1,200 worth of giveaways that we're giving away today too. So yeah, it's a free event here at Riverside.
I love it. Now, without giving away the keynote speaker's address, what do we expect to hear in that speech?
So, well, yeah, I definitely won't give it away because she's going to be amazing. But it's about the power of you and kind of what you can do from like just inspiring yourself, which is really on theme for Women in Motion.
I love that. Now, on these courts, Women in Motion, obviously at the highest level that we get in about 6 weeks' time here for the ITF Saskatoon tournament here. Give us a sense of what that really means in terms of the quality of tennis that comes to Saskatoon, Landon.
Yeah, what that really means is truly world-class professional women's tennis players who are the up-and-coming ranks, the next generation, if you will, competing here right on the courts at Riverside Badminton Tennis Club for prize purse and ranking points to really further their journey to become professional tennis players.
It's an absolutely incredible event. Again, it is coming up, July 18th at first serve?
July 18th to 26th, the whole week. There'll be matches every day and truly world-class tennis being played.
Perfect. Well, it all kicks off tonight with Women in Motion, that free event as mentioned. They do want you to go to the website and pre-register if you can, but it is free to attend 5 to 8:30 right here. It is going to be a tremendous event at Riverside in Saskatoon.
Hey everyone, Jermaine Franklin here inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday, and for it, we're heading to Raleigh, North Carolina. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, just moments after the opening faceoff. Shea Theodore can't keep the puck in, and Nick Ehlers takes full advantage, keeps on the 2-on-1, and snipes his first of 2 goals in the opening frame. After so many years of playoff disappointment in Winnipeg, the former Jet scores the 3rd fastest goal to open a Cup Final, just 25 seconds into his first Cup Final game. Definitely worth your must-see moment. And with that, Game 1 in the books. It's the association's turn to take center stage tonight. Game 1 of the finals begins. Wemby and the upstart Spurs hosting Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on TSN 3 and 4. Have a great day.
Pure Country 92.7 is holding a competition right now where you can win VIP seats to Country Thunder by singing like this.
Hey, it's Mike. Disappear for a week, for a month, for a year. Wake up at home or in a coffin. It's nice to know I got options. Spring break down in Panama City. It was 2000 and something.
Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking it's only down.
Okay, please don't laugh. I am not a singer, but I love Cameron Whitcomb so much, and I would love to see him at Country Thunder. So here it goes. But under my skin, I'm not okay. Honey, I've been scared to death looking in the mirror. Just another day in the kingdom of fear.
My son loves that song, Kingdom of Fear. The guy who really gave it on that Creed song, right?
Yes.
So
killed it.
It is called Off Key for VIP for a reason. You can enter on the iHeartRadio app. Good luck to all you and to the listeners' ears. They probably didn't expect that would be on the morning news.
These people were like, oh, I mean, I'm just going to leave a voicemail. Who's going to hear it?
Who's possibly?
All of Saskatchewan.
We'll get Chase to give you the full details on how you can enter coming up in a little bit. First, let's get to our question du jour.
That's great.
So we're asking you today, what is a weird food combo that you like? And I have to tell you, this is my least favorite question of the day that we've ever had. Because
unappetizing?
It's just so unappetizing. Some of them aren't bad.
Blue
and
cheese.
then some of them are, like blue cheese and strawberry jam. I don't want it, but it's not the most egregious one we have on here. We had another one saying, I love dill pickles dipped in peanut butter. My hubby puts salt in his watermelon. Again, not the worst. I don't want them, but not the worst. Cam saying, I love cottage cheese and cheddar cheese on whole wheat bread. So yummy.
Okay, so that's a cheese sandwich. Okay.
How do we come up with these stuff? Michelle B saying, sounds gross, but a fried egg with mustard and cheese on toast is really good.
Oh.
All right.
Sure. You could have that and then take a nice bike ride home.
This one offended me. Rod saying Caesar salad with ketchup.
Oh, boy.
That one.
Oh,
yes,
boy.
That one offended me.
No.
Nathan, this is producer Nathan saying, a little bit of bread left over. I make pickle sandwiches, mayo, dill pickle, and hot sauce.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I guess.
I like that.
You have
Lori
to.
saying a mashed potato sandwich, a piece of bread, half-inch thick of mashed potatoes, lots of butter, salt, and pepper.
Reminded me, my mom used to leave 4 cent ketchup sandwiches. Just bread and ketchup.
Okay.
Said that's what Santa likes.
Okay.
Nancy's, I think, sounds really good, actually. Tomato soup and Hawkins cheesies. Instead of putting crackers in it, Hawkins cheesies.
Dip them in.
That one, I was like, okay, Nancy, I can get behind that. Kathy saying toasted peanut butter, fried bologna, and lettuce sandwich. Try it. Would you try it?
No, you know me, no.
Of course.
No.
Come on.
Tony's adding mustard on his toast.
Isn't this the mustard capital of Canada?
And we have Jolene saying, get some French toast, add some ketchup. It's how my dad ate it.
That doesn't make it right. Text your name and your answer to 10400 or scan that QR code. We're back with your morning mystery in just a minute.
The Greater Toronto Area marked its third straight month of higher home sales compared with a year earlier. As the city's real estate board says, the market tightened in May. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says the average selling price was down 4.6% year over year to $1,069,000, and the composite benchmark price meant to represent the typical home was down 6.7%. U.S. stocks are struggling to build on record gains as growing strains on the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran has sent oil prices higher for a third straight day. The cautious mood follows flare-ups in the Middle East that are testing a fragile truce between Washington and Tehran. As talks between the parties dragged on, President Donald Trump has said Iran has agreed it won't have a nuclear weapon. SpaceX aims to sell 555 million shares at $135 apiece for its record-breaking $75 billion initial public offering, Reuters is reporting, citing an unidentified person familiar with the matter. The report indicates SpaceX is breaking from the traditional IPO process, whereby companies typically announce a price range before marketing the shares during investor roadshows. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Morning mystery, JD. We're on a streak here, so you got to keep it up. Here we go. Clue number 1.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we are. This national day, clue number 1, this national day is celebrated on June 3rd. Clue 2, this national day is celebrated on June 3rd.
Okay.
Clue 3, this national day is celebrated on June 3rd.
All right.
What?
What's the gag?
Did somebody mess this up, or are we just doing...
It's June 3rd day.
No.
Are we just doing repeats? I put repeat day.
Oh,
Or unless it's a user error.
No, it is. It's
Should we
repeat
write,
day.
should we write user error?
It is repeat day because I took a look at the calendar. Hold on.
What did you write?
National, et cetera.
National, et cetera.
Hold on. When you do like the repeat, there you go.
Apparently, it is National Repeat Day. Oh my goodness, they almost got us. That was today's.
How did you get that? Amazing, Daryl. Wow.
Wow, Daryl, so good.
Oh, I paid
Daryl,
attention to the clues and I wrote down the answer. That was really hard. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA, School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at 11 degrees right now, 13 degrees through Saskatoon. We have seen some rain to start your day, but seems like we're getting a bit of a break right now. Should be returning by your lunchtime, 17 degrees for Saskatoon, 18 degrees by lunch in Regina, and by final bell, both cities with that chance of rain, risk of thunderstorms, sitting at 19 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. The average price is down in both cities. The average price is $165.9 this morning. You might be able to find it in Regina for as low as $145.9, and in Saskatoon you might be able to find it for as low as $155.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola at $736.15 per ton. The futures price $778.10 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $285.20 per ton, and red spring wheat at $276.41 per ton. The Canadian dollar is down this morning. It's at 72.29 cents US. After the break, what a new survey shows about Saskatchewan's educational support workers. Stay with us.
$7:29, good morning and thank you for being with us. The Prime Minister says there is weakness in our country's economy, but he is not calling it a recession.
The data is going to be uneven, and we see some weakness, in part because of clear decisions by the government. So we have taken back control of immigration. That's meant the population growth has flattened.
That was the Prime Minister's first comment on the issue since Statistics Canada released new GDP data on Friday. It showed the economy shrank slightly for 2 straight quarters, meeting the technical definition of a recession. Prime Minister Mark Carney also said the foundation is being laid right now for a stronger economy. RCMP are investigating a suspicious death on Montreal Lake Cree Nation. Montreal Lake and Waskesiu RCMP were called to a home for a report of an injured man at about 1 a.m. on Monday in the community. Officers found the man provided first aid, but he died on scene. The victim, 24-year-old Stephen Beatty from Timber Bay. The Homicide Investigation Unit has determined the death to be suspicious in nature, now asking for anyone with information to call police or Crime Stoppers. A survey of Saskatchewan schools by the Canadian Union of Public Employees shows many education support workers are being asked to perform medical procedures for some students. Now, nearly 1,000 workers like EAs, caretakers, and counselors took part in that survey. It finds many are asked to help students with the administering of medications like EpiPens and insulin, or even assist with things like tube feeding. QP representatives say most education support workers don't have proper training for that.
Sometimes with absolutely no training. There's schools that will say to the mom, come in and show us what to do for 1 hour, and then that's it. There's no professional person.
QP wants the government to establish a task force to develop safe and consistent standards for workers and to clearly identify procedures which should be conducted by a healthcare professional or at home rather than at school, among others. Now, in response, the province says school divisions are responsible for assessing individual student needs with the best interest of overall health and safety in mind. Water in Prince Albert may soon be analyzed for the presence of 550 unique drugs and substances. Monday night at City Council, they voted to enter a memorandum of understanding with Health Canada to participate in the National Wastewater Drug Surveillance Program. The city says more information on substance use would allow the municipality, law enforcement, the health and social agencies to better inform decisions regarding substances in the community.
As much as it is uncomfortable or unpleasant to talk about or to face, to move ahead successfully on challenging things like addictions and the drug trade, we need good intel.
The Prince Albert Police Service submitted a letter to City Council in support of that motion. CBS News has fired longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley. Pelley was let go after a tense meeting with his bosses at CBS earlier this week. A day earlier, Pelley criticized management at a staff-wide meeting. Now, he accused editor Barry Weiss of murdering 60 Minutes. CBS did make wholesale changes to the show last week, including bringing in a new executive producer. The 59th season of 60 Minutes is scheduled to start this fall. The Iran war and closure of the Strait of Hormuz have led to more pain at the gas pump. Prices have jumped in parts of the country with an increase of 8 cents a litre in the Greater Toronto area. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg says we can expect another 2 or 3 cents a litre tomorrow. Prices had tumbled recently with the new peace deal between Iran and the U.S. may be close, but there's been no breakthrough in those negotiations. Archaeologists have recovered a collection of treasures from an 18th century shipwreck off Norway's coast. The goods recovered include white and blue Chinese porcelain bowls, goblets, textiles, and parts of chandeliers. The ship was found about 600 meters down off Norway's southwestern coast. The origin and destination still unknown. Students from Argyle School in Regina made a quick trip to Kinsman Park on Tuesday to plant some trees. Organized by the Regina Ski Club, 12 classrooms came out in the morning hours with a total of 34 trees planted and about 225 shrubs, providing the area with more shrubbery.
Our community can breathe more, and that will help people more. I'm hoping to learn that even though certain trees can be big and certain trees can be small, they all need certain things to survive. Planting marigolds and calla lilies. But I also, in the mornings, I fill up the bottles and take the watering can and water the other plants that don't have bottles.
Older students from the school were there in the afternoon covering the areas with builder fabric and mulch to suppress the weeds. One of the biggest tourist attractions in the city of Moose Jaw, the Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa. But if you were looking to soak in the therapeutic mineral spa, it is closed until mid-June for major renovations. Sierra D'Souza butts with what's in store.
Right now we're a mineral pool, very nice mineral pool.
What's been a mineral pool and spa for the last 30 years will now become a full thermal spa experience.
You go into a different hot environment, so we have dry saunas, different steam rooms, and then you go and cool down, best done in a cold plunge.
The Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa in Moose Jaw is renovating its core facilities, aiming to expand services for people of all ages. The more than $2 million revitalization will consist of multiple new saunas inside and outside the hotel and a sequence of 4 hot and cold showers.
We did have the steam room as well, but we only had one steam room. And, you know, we used to set it nice and hot, so if you're used to steam rooms, it's great for you. But what about younger people? What about people who don't do that on a regular basis? When you have 3, you can have one that's made just for people who are trying it out for the first time.
An accessibility ramp for its cold plunge is also part of the hotel's renovations, in addition to guest room renovations. Tourism Moose Jaw says the Temple Gardens are the foundation of Moose Jaw's modern tourism sector, opening the door to the economic growth that travelers bring to the community today.
Because Temple Gardens first started tourism in Moose Jaw, I mean, that in itself is incredible. And now to have all the other attractions that we have, you can come and you can stay for 2 or 3 days, and there's something different to do every day.
After watching the spa grow and develop since it first opened in 1996, Fritzky says she's excited to see the finished product.
It was such a new thing, and everyone wanted to come. And now that with the renovation, I mean, if you've been here before, now there's something new to experience when you come back.
Construction for the pools and saunas are expected to finish by June 19th, while renovations towards the rooms will continue into next year. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
For the tour, a late goal by the Golden Knights turned out to be the game winner in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final.
3.5 to go. Hurdle into the dot to Sissons. Back for Hurdle. He scores! Tomas
Hurdle scoring in the third, late in the game. 5-4 win for the Knights over Carolina. Vegas has now won 7 straight games. Game 2 goes tomorrow night. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky, we got rain on the way.
rain has already started. In fact, take a look outside in Regina this morning. This just started to pop up on our traffic cameras here. So a bit of a wet start to the day. In Saskatoon, we saw some more of that rain earlier on, and that is going to continue shortly here. But it does seem like we're getting just a little bit of a break from the rain actively falling right now. Current temperatures out there a little bit cooler than what we have been seeing in previous days. It's only 7 degrees now in Stony Rapids, 9 in La Ronge, 7 degrees in South End, and 8 degrees in Buffalo Narrows. After that, we start to get more into that green color, so more of those double digits. 14 degrees in Prince Albert, 13 in Melfort, and 14 in Hudson Bay. Down in the south, single digits still in East End, 9 degrees right now. 12 degrees in Assiniboia, though, 11 in Regina with that rain, 13 in Saskatoon, and 13 degrees in Yorkton. Later on into the afternoon, again, still talking about some of that rain. It's not going to be any heavy amounts, but the ingredients are there for the potential of a thunderstorm. It's not for sure. We're trying to track these conditions, but again, the ingredients are there, so just be prepared for that. More likely just a chance of that rain falling, though. 18 degrees in Moose Jaw, 19 for Regina and Saskatoon this afternoon, 21 though through Estevan, and expecting it to be a lot more sunny down through the far southeast corner of the province. So 0 millimeters of rain expected there, but by the end of the day, we're looking at about 4 more millimeters for Regina, about 3 millimeters for Moose Jaw and Swift Current. It has gone down in Saskatoon, now projecting only about 2 more millimeters by the end of the day, and 1 millimeter expected in Prince Albert. So we're not exactly seeing the accumulation that we're seeing over in Manitoba today. They're expecting a lot more of that rain. Now, temperatures will be going up for our day tomorrow in Regina. We're expecting a bit of a break from that rain for Thursday and Friday. 22 tomorrow, 26 on Friday. 30 degrees, though, by Saturday. You do see that thunderstorm icon. However, we're expecting that to be coming later on into the evening and overnight hours. The afternoon could be very warm, very sunny. 21 by Sunday, though, 23 by Monday, and 25 on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, 22 degrees tomorrow. Again, a break from that rain tomorrow. The only place we're really seeing the rain falling tomorrow afternoon is down through the southwest corner of the province, right around Swift Current. On Friday, though, likely to be returning to Saskatoon with that risk of a thunderstorm. 25, 24 by Saturday with more of that rain. 20 degrees by Sunday, 23 by Monday with more of that sun coming out, and the rain returning for Tuesday with that high of 26.
Daughter's suicide left her family consumed with grief, but her parents and W5 followed clues about what happened leading up to her death. CTV's John Woodward on the change her family is calling for now.
Memories of her daughter are still so fresh for Susan Dallin O'Grady.
So hard to believe still that she's not going to walk through that door.
Annika Dallin O'Grady was headed for a career as a genetic counselor, but behind the scenes, the 22-year-old student was depressed, worried funding cuts would take away a research job.
She lost hope, I guess, because there was sort of too many things at the time going on wrong at the same time.
Annika died by suicide in April, devastating for family and friends.
It's a loss that you could never outlive, because she was supposed to outlive me, right?
As her parents were in shock and grief, they found out she got the job after all.
What was it like for you to get that news that if she'd hung on for just a little bit longer?
It was like heartbreaking to find that out.
Susan wanted to dig deeper into what happened and put together a picture of Annika's final days. So she called her bank and got Annika's credit card statements. And there, on March 23rd, is a charge for Monobank, a financial institution in Ukraine that she didn't recognize. But we did.
The amount, about 124 Canadian dollars, is $3,879.60 in Ukrainian currency. When you include service charges, the amount is within pennies of what is sold on a Ukrainian-based website that uses Monobank and sells a poison known as SN. The same poison the W5 has tied to 150 deaths around the world, related to Ontario-based suicide kit salesman Kenneth Law, who pleaded guilty to aiding and abetting suicide on Friday. The same poison coroners across Canada have linked to 29 deaths since Law was put behind bars.
I want to talk to you about the poison you're selling.
The same poison that the man who runs the Ukrainian website, Leonid Zakutenko, has faced questions about before. The BBC approached him in Kyiv in 2024. 2 years later, he told W5 he regularly sells to Canada. O'Grady wanted to know more and started texting Zakutenko directly. She wrote, "Can you please tell us details about the purchase?" The answer? "I'm truly heartbroken for you, and my thoughts are with you and your family during this incredibly difficult time."
What's it like to hear that from the man who sold your daughter the substance?
No, I mean, it was horrible. My daughter's life was worth $123 Canadian to you, or probably less because of shipping.
O'Grady doesn't think that website or other online forums that appear to be recommending it should be accessible in Canada. Her records show Annika first accessed one of those forums when she was just 17.
Protecting children on the internet is something Canada's government says it's been working on in trying to pass an online harms bill, but it's been slow going.
The bill has died in procedural rules since it was introduced 5 years ago. University of Calgary law professor Emily Laidlaw has consulted on a more recent version.
That's the intention of the bill, is that it would make things better and potentially avoid what happened to that girl.
Then on Monday, a surprise development. Zakutenko's website was taken down. It's not clear if he's trying to sell through other means. O'Grady wants certainty he's out of business. But in the meantime, she has a message for parents.
Even if someone hears the story and talks to their kid and to say, how's it going? And please know that people want to help you. Trust me, people really want to help you. Then it's worth it.
Hoping more deaths can be prevented while these deadly products are still for sale.
What's happening in our community. The Assiniboia Garage and Yard Sale is happening June 6th throughout Assiniboia. Call 306-640-8800. Pony Express on the Prairies is happening June 6th at 10 a.m., starting in the town of Francis and ending in Fillmore. Call 306-861-7136. An Old Time Dance is happening June 6th at 7:30 p.m. at the Hazel Dell Recreation Center. Call 306-547-4284. And Show and Shine is on June 7th at 11 a.m. at the A&W on Albert Street and Avonhurst Drive. Call 306-537-0675. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, click Community Calendar, or scan the QR code on your screen. It's June 3rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Emmy. She's turning 5 years old, wishing you a super fun day. Lots of love from your mom, dad, and Layla. Happy birthday to Pauline. She's turning 9 years old. We hope you have a great day. Lots of love from your mom, dad, Patrice, and Paula. Turning 7 years old is Lily. Happy birthday to you, with love coming your way from your mom, dad, sister, and baby brother. Enjoy your special day. 1 year older than that, Brayden is turning 8 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from your Baba, Guido, Mom, Damien, and Parker. And happy birthday to Deborah. She's turning 70 years old today. Sending her love and happiness today is Angelina, Rob, and Emerson.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Let's check back in with Janelle Lippi at Buffalo Pound Provincial Park ahead of National Trails Day.
Good morning. We're back down at Buffalo Pound. I've got park manager Dave with me. Now, Dave, thank you so much for being back. We are talking all things trails this time around. You guys have some new ones to show off here.
Yes, no, for sure. Well, behind us is the entrance to the Nicole Flats Nature Area, which is home to most of our interpretive trails. We have extended our trails from our visitor center, which was our last stop, to this area, which actually kind of completed the vision to connect the entire park with trails. So we have that. That was we began developing that 2 years ago, and we're just kind of working on it as we go. And all of it's now been designated as Trans-Canada Trail. So for us, it's an important piece of trail, and it's nice that we can fly it under the same banner as the Trans-Canada Trail.
Absolutely, it is. So perfect for National Trails Day, of course. Now, getting out and walking isn't the only way that folks can enjoy the sunshine and the fresh air. Let's talk all things biking.
Certainly. Now you're talking my language. Mountain biking is a very big piece of what we do at Buffalo Pound. And actually, when you just to go back to the new trail stuff, we do have some exciting new trails being developed this summer at our mountain biking trailhead, and we're really excited to see what that does. And as far as the other activities, yes, hiking, biking, walking, extreme running has become a very popular thing at Buffalo Pound, as well as the winter biking. Winter biking is kind of really taken off since probably just before the pandemic, and it's really something that we've embraced as a park, and really hope to offer the best experience for anyone who wants to do that.
For sure, Dave. Well, thank you so much for this once again. Saturday, National Trails Day. All the Saskatchewan parks, you can come enjoy some time. Free entry as well. Enjoy some beautiful scenery.
We played those off-key for VIP clips that you sent us, and everybody in here was giggling. But the people out there still probably want to win some tickets, so how do you enter?
All you have to do, if you're listening with the iHeartRadio app, or if you're not right now, get it going. It's a free app. Listen to us. There's a talkback feature on there where you can send us messages. And all you have to do is sing any of the Country Thunder artists that will be there this year. And that's it. You are entered to go. The ones that you played before, I think my favorite was maybe Mike Off the Start with Cameron Whitcomb, or the Creed song, especially because they kind of forgot the words halfway through. It's all good, though. That gets you in for it, and then you could upgrade to platinum passes for Country Thunder. So keep that going. Details at purecountry927.ca. On top of that today, too, we want to know, what is the weirdest thing in your vehicle right now? You can text over to 54321. Yesterday, we were talking about the odd things left behind in Ubers. Now we want to know what's in your vehicle on purpose. So join the conversation.
How about odd things left in your office, like Janelle and Kayleen's bikes for the last 3 weeks?
You never know when you need to get like a quick little bike around the building.
I want to know when they're going to have a quick little bike ride home, Chase. Thank you.
Gentle little hint there, hey?
Nudge.
It feels like you're watching a documentary. It's actually quite a hard skill.
It really happened. Idris Elba is now a knight. King Charles knighted the actor, musician, and activist at a Windsor Castle ceremony Tuesday for his services to young people. Idris and his wife, Sabrina Elba, founded a charity to support diaspora communities, and he's a goodwill ambassador to the King's Trust, which works to help vulnerable young people.
I wake every morning knowing that something is missing.
Outlander fans take heart. Starz released this sneak peek of Outlander Blood of My Blood Season 2 and announced the prequel series will return September 18th.
This is your story.
Michael is Coming Home. The film about the iconic performer's rise to fame lands on digital and VOD June 9th and 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and other home video formats July 14th. It's made more than $850 million in worldwide ticket sales. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, well, I bet you've never seen moss like this before. A Swedish biologist. He's known as the Moss Ranger, and he's also an extreme macro photographer. He loves giving us a glimpse of the gorgeous greenery that grows on the ground.
Neat.
It is beautiful when you see it up close.
Oh. Look at the little hood he's got there. Everything. Okay. If you've ever wondered what birds would sound like giving more direction, wonder no more.
Mate, I'm on the branch. Where are you?
Mate, I'm here. I'm looking for you.
Yeah, I'm on the branch.
Yeah, I know you're on a branch, but
it's that branch I told you about.
Mate, I'm going to need you to get a little bit more specific for me.
It's like a whitey brown branch.
Oh,
where are you looking?
Mate, I'm
little bird brains. Look at him go.
Jeremy loves this one.
I just get such a kick out of this. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. It's just his voice. It's so good.
We found Jeremy's new favorite video.
Yeah, we're going to have to cycle this one back through. We got time for just one more, Jeremy.
All right, some examples of why English is just so darn tough to learn.
So the past tense of sneeze would be
sneezed,
which means the past tense of freeze would be
freezed.
No. What would you think? It would be froze. It's because that's why. And if the past tense of match...
Because that's why.
So shocked when he gets it wrong. Man, catch, caught, take, took, read, read. English is tough.
This has given me another idea for a question of the day. What's a job you wouldn't want? And teaching English.
Be tough.
Some of the rules just make no sense.
God bless teachers. We're back after this. Welcome to Wednesday, June 3rd.
The stability and the certainty and the predictability that that agreement offers, and the importance of trying to get to there as quickly as possible.
Canada calling on the U.S. and Mexico to re-up CUSMA for another 16 years.
Do I believe that there's a random shooting that occurred? I don't believe so, but that is part of our investigation.
RCMP investigating the motive behind a fatal shooting in Pelican Narrows.
As much as it is uncomfortable or unpleasant to talk about or to face, to move ahead successfully on challenging things like addictions and the drug trade, we need good intel.
Water in Prince Albert may soon be analyzed for the presence of unique drugs and substances. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
We made one lucky viewer's day today. We will renew that lucky $20K payday winner announcement coming up a little bit later in this show. And right now you're talking about rain.
Yeah, we're talking about rain.
Not tears, but the actual from the sky rain.
Yes, yeah. Rain has already started in a few communities across the province. I'll show you where in just a few minutes.
Let's get to news. We begin with Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc saying his team, hi, there I am, here I am again, in Washington, had a positive meeting with American Trade Representative Jamieson Greer.
We presented a number of specific proposals to Ambassador Greer that we think are good in the broader context of the North American economy and respond to some long-standing issues that the United States has raised with us.
LeBlanc didn't share those proposals, but confirmed he raised the issues on tariffs, and he talked about his letter to the U.S. and Mexico officially backing a 16-year renewal of the North American Free Trade Pact. The review deadline is July 1st. LeBlanc said he and Greer agreed to speak again next week. Meantime, Greer's office is proposing new tariffs on 60 countries, including Canada, over its forced labor concerns. Canada, Mexico, Taiwan, and the UK among 15 countries that could face a 10% additional duty for allegedly not doing enough to prevent imports made with forced labor. The Trump administration says that creates an unlevel playing field for American workers. A 12.5% additional tariff would be imposed on the remaining 45 countries, including China, India, and Australia. We have now heard from the Prime Minister for the first time on whether Canada is in a recession. Data last week showed the economy contracted 2 quarters in a row, which constitutes a so-called technical recession. Speaking yesterday, Carney acknowledged the data, but says the government is in the process of building a stronger economy.
That process is settling in during that time as we make major investments, major changes to how the government operates, how we do major projects, how we have new trade agreements with other countries. It's always difficult. I should always remember to go up the stairs more slowly or get in better shape. As we do all that, the data is going to be uneven.
The Prime Minister insists, despite the economy contracting, there are also encouraging signs, including higher household incomes and growth in some types of business investment. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre is not buying it.
The Prime Minister instead spread misinformation. He told all of you that investment has been up the last 2 quarters. Well, this is a quote directly from the StatsCan report. Business capital investment fell 0.7% in the first quarter of 2026, the 5th consecutive quarterly decline. And so the Prime Minister once again is failing the Canadian people by refusing to tell them the truth, that he caused a recession.
RCMP investigating the motive behind a fatal shooting Monday in Pelican Narrows. The incident that saw another person injured sparked a dangerous persons alert. Laura Woodward now with what we know so far.
RCMP were tight-lipped about the details of the Pelican Narrows shooting, saying the investigation is still in the early stages. Police say a woman was killed and a man suffered serious injuries after a shooting near the community's health center Monday afternoon. A male suspect was arrested at a residence in Pelican Narrows, but no charges have been laid. Investigators have not said whether the shooting was gang or drug-related or whether the suspect and victims were known to each other.
Do I believe that there's a random shooting that occurred? I don't believe so, but that is part of our investigation, and we're mindful of both incidents. If it's targeted or if it is random, that's a part of our investigation.
The shooting is part of a disturbing trend in the area.
Violent crime has increased by 49% over the last 10 years. This is extremely concerning, especially considering the small local population.
Dr. John Michael Stevens has worked at the clinic in Pelican Narrows for 9 years, just steps away from where Monday's shooting took place. He's seen firsthand a shift in the type of violence facing the community.
Since COVID, there's been an extreme uptake in a different type of drugs, so cocaine and crystal meth. And that's driven a different type of violence. The community is it's broken. It's a beautiful community that's really broken.
The Peter Valentine Cree Nation says out of caution, schools and the band office will remain closed for the week. Court has been canceled and the health center will be limited to serious medical clients for the remainder of the week. In an effort to respond to the growing violence, this fall, the RCMP plans to deploy officers from Saskatoon as a new rotational shift aimed at boosting police presence in the north. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon flipping the switch on some solar power, Jeremy.
Yeah, a 2.8 megawatt solar farm, Daryl. It's now generating power on 11 acres of land off of Dundonald Avenue and Circle Drive South. The price tag for the project is expected to come in around $7.3 million, and it will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by roughly 23,000 tons over its 30-year life cycle. That's equivalent of removing 160 cars annually. Now, despite the project's cost nearly doubling since the budget was first approved in 2021, the city does say it expects to recover costs in 15 years. And with electricity demand and generation going through big changes across the country, the city says it could be quicker than that.
My best guess is that we're probably going to pay it off faster than we think we are. So we'll see what happens. It's a very, very dynamic time for electricity. So lots of wind and solar, nuclear, all kinds of technologies being developed. So how that impacts rates, we'll have to see.
The city says electricity produced there will power about 400 homes each year. Water in Prince Albert may soon be analyzed for the presence of 550 unique drugs and substances. Monday night, City Council voted to enter a memorandum of understanding with Health Canada to participate in the National Wastewater Drug Surveillance Program. The city says more information on substance use would allow the municipality, law enforcement, and health and social agencies to make better informed decisions regarding substances in the community.
As much as it is uncomfortable or unpleasant to talk about or to face, to move ahead successfully on challenging things like addictions and the drug trade, we need good intel.
The Prince Albert Police Service did submit a letter to City Council, a letter of support of this motion. Well, Daryl, construction started on a major expansion to the potash mine near Bethune, the K+S one.
That's right. The $3 billion ramp-up project will see production at the mine doubled by 2040. Wayne Mantica reports.
Engineering work took place over the winter for the K+S mine expansion near Bethune. Now construction has started.
Piling started on our compaction expansion project, and it's rolled into a couple of the other aspects of our project over the last few weeks.
The first phase will see construction of a compaction unit, which will transform raw, fine-grained potash into uniform granules for the fertilizer industry.
Every potash mine in the province, we make a compacted product. So as we ramp up our production, we're wanting to ramp up the production of this specific product.
The first phase of construction will be completed by 2030. Other work will follow to double mine production by 2040 to 4 million tons per year. The update on the $4 billion expansion was provided at a Regina event marking Saskatchewan Mining Week.
We have various sectors. We've got potash, uranium, coal, gold, and upcoming critical minerals such as copper and zinc.
The Saskatchewan mining industry is using its week to highlight contributions made to the provincial economy. In addition to 12,000 jobs, it says it pays $2.6 billion annually in taxes and royalties to 3 levels of government, more than the sector pays in all other Canadian provinces combined. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
At least 4 people were hurt in a bear attack in northeastern Japan. Security video shows the bear chasing a worker, then throwing him on the ground. After knocking down that worker, the bear then ran into the building and injured 2 more. A 4th person was hurt when the bear went into another factory. The bear is believed to still be in that factory. Schools nearby are closed this morning, and police have declared a local emergency over this. People in New York City are wondering why on earth anyone would willingly enter their sewer system. Well, the answer is to find the Ninja Turtles, obviously. There's been at least 3 incidents of this happening recently, with surveillance video capturing people going into manholes. One witness says they called 911 after seeing someone go in, but never heard anything back. The New York Police Department says they're looking into it, but they don't think there's any threat to public safety. Some have suggested people are looking for valuables lost in the sewer system. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Now fly ball to right center from Rumfield. Adele's after it in the gap, and he makes the running catch. Oh, he didn't grab it. The ball actually...
Oopsie. Not only did LA Angels player Joe Adele miss the catch, and not only did the ball hit him in the head, but then it bounced above the boundary, making that a home run. Ouch. It was also the first of back-to-back homers for the Rockies, who went on to win 8-2. 2 teams of lovable losers. Let's get over to a big winner today.
Absolutely, Daryl. Thank you to everybody who played along with CTV Your Morning and Affinity Credit Union. There were so many entries, and now it's time to celebrate. Congratulations to the winner of Pay Your Bills, Sandra Kearney. You're taking home an incredible $20,000. That's life-changing money just for playing along. The Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, powered by Affinity Credit Union, an affinity for you. All right, let's turn our attention back outside. Not exactly a bright and sunny start to the day in many places across the province this morning. Seeing quite a bit of active weather. Regina's been seeing that precipitation for the past 30 minutes or so here. 11 degrees to wake us up, though, and winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. So those winds are lower than what we have been seeing for the past few days at this time. In Saskatoon, not quite seeing the precipitation actively falling right now, but we have seen some overnight and into early this morning, and it is going to return shortly here. 13 degrees right now, and winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. So we said there's been lots of active weather, not quite as much in Saskatchewan as what they saw over in Manitoba yesterday. Take a look at all of those colors. Yes, that indicates some strong thunderstorms there yesterday and through the overnight hours. We did have confirmation of 3 tornadoes from Environment Canada. Environment Canada is asking anybody who is witnessing this active weather to send them photos so they can track this weather, they can rate this weather, and you can also send those photos into us as well. We'd love to share them. Now this morning, this is what we're looking at. So a larger system in the area around Saskatoon, but it's starting to try and rotate and pull away from Saskatoon. Regina, just a little bit of precipitation, as you can see, a little bit through areas around Prince Albert as well. Into the afternoon, it does spread a little bit, so this is not going to be exclusive to the morning hours. We do see a bit of that thunderstorm activity in areas around Yorkton or just north of Yorkton there. More of that cloud cover moving in for Thursday morning. morning, but we're not seeing as much of the precipitation in the morning hours. In the afternoon, we do see some of that moving in from the United States and from Alberta, bringing some rain to areas around Swift Current. Now, this has been fluctuating quite a bit. The number did drop in Saskatoon before shooting right back up to 6 millimeters expected just in the past few minutes here. So by the end of the day today, 6 millimeters for Saskatoon, 2 for Yorkton, 1 millimeter now expected for Regina, and 2 millimeters expected for Swift Current. The number has gone down in Moose Jaw, but just know that the chance still does exist of some of that rain. 16 degrees in Swift Current, 18 degrees in Moose Jaw, 19 degrees in Weyburn, 19 in Regina, and 19 degrees in Saskatoon, 21 degrees through Estevan today. More so of that sunshine down there. We're also talking about lower wind gusts today, and this is a nice treat based on how high winds have been in the past few days. We're just seeing them peaking around 40 kilometers per hour today, for some areas lighting up in yellow.
This day in history, June 3rd, 1948, people in Newfoundland voted in the first referendum on relinquishing status as a British colony to become Canada's 10th province. June 3rd, 2019, the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls released its final report, issuing 231 calls for justice. June 3rd, 1989, China's government ordered troops to force protesters out of Tiananmen Square in Beijing after 7 weeks of occupation.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Freddie Mercury started writing it in 1968, and on this day in 1976, Bohemian Rhapsody officially goes gold. The original title of the track was revealed to be Mongolian Rhapsody in a collection up for auction at Sotheby's. Another fun fact, it took under 4 hours to film this music video. And how's this for an abuse of power, Kayleen? On this day in 2017, Sarah and I got married. What a cool ride it's been. Mateo, Aria, and I love you. The fun fact about this is she's not currently watching.
Well, so you can tell us what you got her for your anniversary then. She's not watching.
This.
A nice shout out.
A nice shout out.
Okay, all right.
Maybe you could splurge on a trip north for your anniversary, Daryl. And you could go watch a basketball game. The Saskatoon Mamba and the Calgary Surge, and we're talking way north, like the Yukon. It's a neutral site game on Canada Day. Takini Arena in Whitehorse, July 3rd, being billed as the first professional basketball game to be played in the territories. Now, they'll have the game, but they're also going to do a 3-on-3 tournament, a coaching clinic, and community camp in the days leading up to the big game. This is the 5th neutral site game to be played in the league's 8-year history. So the league, Real Entertainment, and Culture and Sport Yukon have agreed to bring the event back for the next 3 years.
That's super cool. That is super cool. You got to expand the game. You got to grow it somehow. If we bought tickets to that, it'd be canceled, like the Meghan Trainor concert we're supposed to be at next week in Toronto. Still got that airfare, though.
Right.
Still got that airfare.
You still owe her a makeup Christmas present, too.
I guess so. Meghan Trainor owes her a personal apology. There are a lot of food combinations you can get at the ballpark. We know that. Or events like the Queen City X or Mosaic, Festival of Cultures. We're sharing some of the weirder ones.
Lori's saying for her favorite weird food combo, peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. My mom always used to make them for us. I don't know. I don't know about the combo. I like them both individually. I don't know about the combo. Jeremy in Regina saying Miracle Whip on scrambled eggs.
Does Jeremy in Saskatoon agree?
I don't know. I can't picture what either of those would actually taste like. Got to give them a try.
Sherry saying love bologna, cheese whiz, and jam sandwiches. Daphne saying my dad used to make a sandwich with cheese whiz, strawberry jam, and slices of onion. He swore it was the best sandwich ever.
Jeremy's going to stop at a grocery store on the way home, and his cart is going to be so unique.
Yeah. Kevin saying my weird food combo used to be McDonald's fries dipped in chocolate milkshakes. That's a common one that I hear. People like to dip their fries in ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, what are you having, Dad? Well, I'm having bologna and vinegar today, son.
Bologna and vinegar, yeah. Ray saying salt and vinegar chips and a big glass of chocolate milk that's sweet and salty, right?
I suppose.
Dina saying, I like boiled wieners and Lipton's chicken noodle soup. When I said this one to producer Nathan, he said, that one's really good. I like that one.
Yeah, he said nothing heard about that.
Yeah, Debbie's saying, I don't have any weird food combos myself, but a friend of mine loves poached eggs on peanut butter toast. Haven't tried it.
Nor should you. We're back with health news in just a minute.
I'm Adrian Gobriel and Sault Ste. Marie tonight on CTV National News. How this Northern Ontario steel town is navigating turbulent times.
There is this black cloud looming over top of our major industry.
The impact of U.S. tariffs and what major project could set the industry back on track. Tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Foundayo is the next generation of GLP-1 that swaps monthly injections for a daily pill. There's also the Wegovy pill, which became available earlier this year. What makes both daily pills so unique is the convenience. Foundayo can be taken with or without water at any time of the day and before or after a meal. The Wegovy pill must be taken on an empty stomach 30 minutes before a meal. Side effects for both are similar to other GLP-1 medications, including nausea, constipation, diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach pain. Both pills cost less than $200 a month for a starter dose for people who pay in cash, and only $25 a month for those with insurance. Having a choice of weight loss pills seems to signal a turning point in obesity care, where convenience becomes just as powerful as the drug itself. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
All right, let's head out on the go once again and catch up with Mike Siona this morning.
Well, Landon Grube and I are here setting up the ITF tennis tournament here in Saskatoon, which is still 6 weeks away. And we were so excited earlier, we wanted to start the tournament today early. It's not the 18th of July, but the 19th of July that this world-class event comes here.
Yep, 19th of July, qualifying will start, and then the main tournament will run all week right up until the finals on the 26th of July.
Very cool. Now, obviously, that's the top tennis players in the world that kind of fall into this category. Where are you on that circuit?
Aggressively amateur, but yes, that top tennis players, like, they're going to be ranked up to 300 in the world, 200 potentially. It's really that next generation that are looking to go from the juniors, potentially playing college, and trying to break out into the pro tennis tournament and make a career of it.
No doubt. I mean, it's funny, you know, in different sporting circles, you're like, whoa, 200-300th in the world, still considered that aggressive amateur zone. But I mean, that is world class as it comes when you think about it. And, 6-7 billion people on Earth, and you're going to have somebody in the top 300.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the level of tennis that they're going to be demonstrating and playing is going to be quite incredible. And they're truly world class athletes, traveling around the globe. We'll have global players, not only just from Canada, but from around the world. So it'll be a really special event to have them here and watch them play some amazing tennis.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Last year's champion from Japan, I understand, which is tremendous. And of course, it is a women's tournament. A couple of guys sitting here talking about it right now. That's just the way it was. But we were talking with Casey earlier, and it's all about women in motion, which is why we're here today, because that event is tonight from 5 to 8:30 down here at Riverside. Going to be a tremendous evening. It's free. They do ask that you go to the website, though, and register. More stuff than we can even mention, but just watch the segments back on the internet later, and you'll be all set and ready to come down here and enjoy.
Hey everyone, Jermaine Franklin here inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday, and for it, we're heading to Raleigh, North Carolina. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final just moments after the opening faceoff. Shea Theodore can't keep the puck in, and Nick Ehlers takes full advantage, keeps on the 2-on-1, and snipes his first of 2 goals in the opening frame. After so many years of playoff disappointment in Winnipeg, the former Jet scores the 3rd fastest goal to open a Cup Final just 25 seconds into his first Cup Final game. Definitely worth your must-see moment. And with that, Game 1 in the books. It's the association's turn to take center stage tonight. Game 1 of the finals begins. Wemby and the upstart Spurs hosting Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on TSN 3 and 4. Have a great day.
The Regina Rams and Saskatoon Hilltops have a storied rivalry when it comes to junior football. One climactic moment coming on a memorable night in 1996 in Saskatoon when the defending champion Rams faced the Hilltops in the PFC final. Led by quarterback Chad Eamon, Regina stormed out of the gate, building up a 20-3 lead. The offense was firing on all cylinders, and it seemed the rout was on in favor of the Rams, with Hilltops QB Sheldon Ball struggling. But backup quarterback Brad Williamson came in the second half and led a remarkable rally for the Hilltops, starting with a touchdown pass to Jason Sauls and then taking one in himself. The Toppers would cap off a long pass down near the goal line to Sauls with a touchdown run by Sheldon Duval to seal the deal and lift Saskatoon to a 27-23 win. It was a heartbreaker for the defending champion Regina Rams, but the start of a glorious title run for the Hilltops, who would win the Canadian Bowl a few weeks later. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
.30, welcome back. As wildfires continue to impact many communities across the province, residents in one area are returning home after being evacuated, while others are being forced out. Hallie Mandrick reports.
The evacuation orders previously issued to the RMs of Shellbrook and Duck Lake have been lifted, as the wildfire threatening the communities is now 80% contained. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says the 53 patients and residents of the Parkland Integrated Healthcare Centre in Shellbrook who were preemptively evacuated over the weekend are in the process of returning to the facility. The approximate 130 residents from about 70 homes in the RM of Shellbrook are also heading back, but are being told to be on alert should they need to leave again. People living in the nearby hamlet of Holbein are on alert for changes as crews work to contain the lobstick fire, which spans nearly 19,000 hectares. Meanwhile, the Cayford fire, located south of Red Earth Cree Nation, has spread across 11,500 hectares. Many of those impacted by that fire have been forced to evacuate to neighboring communities, including Saskatoon.
As we help other municipalities understand how to support evacuees, we now have a wealth of experience to help support that effort, and that makes me proud, as you know, for our city, but it actually makes me proud for our province as well.
It's unknown when evacuees from Red Earth Cree Nation will be allowed to go home. Anyone who needs information about evacuations or instructions for their area is advised to visit the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency's website. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Canadian Union of Public Employees held a small rally outside the Legislative Building yesterday. Donovan Mace with why.
The Canadian Union of Public Employees says education workers are doing the work of licensed nurses inside Saskatchewan schools.
They're also responsible for full daily care, lifting, cleaning, watching for signs of pain, and responding if something goes wrong.
QP conducting a survey of nearly 1,000 Saskatchewan education workers like EAs, administrators, and counselors who say they have performed a wide range of medical procedures as part of their jobs, from administering medications, injecting EpiPens or insulin, monitoring blood sugar levels, wound care, and even assisting with tube feeding or catheterization. The survey also finds some staffers received little to no training to perform certain procedures.
There's schools that will say to the mom, come in and show us what to do for 1 hour, and then that's it. There's no professional person.
In response to CTV News, the government of Saskatchewan says school divisions are responsible for assessing individual student needs and making operational decisions, adding these decisions are made locally to ensure flexibility and responsiveness to community needs and are made in the best interests of the overall health and safety of students.
The medical needs of students are being offloaded to school divisions to solve on their own, and they simply can't do it on their own. They can't pass that down to these education workers that work on the front lines of education.
Now, CUPE wants the government to establish a task force to clearly identify what procedures school staff can and should perform when necessary, pointing to the pandemic as a recent example of collaboration between the province, education workers, and healthcare professionals. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Group is pushing back against Premier Danielle Smith's claim that separation would cost about $400 billion. The Alberta Prosperity Project says that number is wrong and grossly inflated, and their economic upside, they say, begins with independence. Tyson Fedor reports.
The leaders of the Alberta independence movement say Premier Danielle Smith is inflating the cost of the province separating from Canada.
Keep in mind, this is going to be a negotiated divorce.
Alberta Prosperity Project lawyer Jeff Rath believes the Premier's Monday estimate of leaving of at least $400 billion misses the mark.
If it was twice the price of that, I would still say that it's 100% worth it, right? Just to get out from underneath the boot of Ottawa.
Separatists have shared door hanger information cards. They also say, as a standalone country, many systems are already in place, which would be taken over by an Alberta government.
Paying for immigration, paying for border control, paying for airports, paying for an Alberta army, picking up the tab, tripling the amount of money going into Indigenous communities in this province. Doing all of that, Alberta would have $29 to $48 billion fiscal capacity surplus.
Smith listed off a host of federal services that would need to transition to Alberta control, including Border Patrol, post offices, NATO commitments, CPP, EI, and railways.
The Premier finally having to get off the fence, which she has straddled fairly successfully for a year and a half, and finally having to decide that, hey, it's pretty dangerous to continue in this way politically.
The Premier also pointed to renegotiating trade deals and being slapped with tariffs.
I came up with almost $400 billion worth of transitional costs that we'd have to assume, in addition to somewhere between 25 to $50 billion worth of annual costs.
We're going to have a better trade agreement in a free and independent Alberta than Canada has, because we haven't been constantly sticking our finger in the eye of the president.
But economist Trevor Toome refutes those claims, long documenting that scrapping income and sales taxes would cut nearly $80 billion from government revenues, with his bottom line stating that a separate Alberta would be a poorer Alberta. Smith says the province will have its own costing document provided to Albertans before August. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's turn our attention now outside, where we are seeing some precipitation this morning. It rolled through Saskatoon a little bit earlier on. We are going to be seeing it returning, but the rain is actively falling this morning in Regina, so make sure you're slowing down on your commute. Roads are going to be a little bit wet this morning to start your day. Current temperatures out there a little bit cooler than what we have been seeing in previous days. 11 degrees now in Stony Rapids, still in single digits for Buffalo Narrows and South End, 8 degrees, 13 in Prince Albert and Nipawin, 14 in Melfort and Hudson Bay, and 11 degrees through Spiritwood. Down in the south, we're still seeing that single-digit temperature, 9 degrees in East End. Other than that, into the double digits, 12 degrees in Swift Current, 15 in Moose Jaw, 11 in Regina, 13 in Saskatoon, and 14 degrees in Yorkton. We are talking about more of that rain on the way from many places in the province today. It's not a large accumulation of it, but it is likely going to be sprinkling throughout your afternoon. 16 degrees in Swift Current, 18 degrees for Moose Jaw, 19 in Weyburn, 19 in Yorkton, and 19 as well for Saskatoon and Regina. The ingredients do exist for some thunderstorm activity. It's not as likely as what we're seeing over in Manitoba. They saw some strong thunderstorms yesterday, including some tornadoes. It's not likely today in Saskatchewan, but again, the ingredients are there, so we're going to keep you updated on that risk. Total rainfall now projected, looking at about 6 millimeters for Saskatoon by the end of the day, about 2 for Yorkton, 1 for Regina, and about 2 millimeters now on tap for Swift Current. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast, including a bright and sunny Thursday and Friday for Regina. Up to 22 degrees tomorrow, 26 by Friday. The risk of seeing some thunderstorms does return for Saturday. However, we're more so seeing it later on in the evening hours and throughout those overnight hours. The afternoon still going to be hot and sunny. 21 by Sunday, 23 by Monday, and 25 by Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing a high of 22 degrees tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. We're more so seeing the rain coming in on the radar down through the southwest corner tomorrow afternoon. Other than that, we are going to be seeing a lot of sunshine. Friday, 25 degrees with the risk of a thunderstorm returning. Some sprinkle for your day on Saturday, 24 degrees, down to 20 degrees on Sunday, mainly cloudy. More of that sun coming out for your day on Monday, 23 degrees, and Tuesday with that rain returning up to 26 degrees.
Greetings, everyone. Indigenous overrepresentation in Canada's prisons has become a major talking point, but it's not a modern issue. That's why a new exhibit at the University of Regina is taking a look at a group known for prisoner advocacy as far back as the 1960s. Erica Madarash reports.
I had a prison record, became known as a criminal.
At age 19, Errol Canistino spent 5 days at the Regina Provincial Correctional Centre, a brief stay that changed his life.
That it was a wake-up call for me to smarten up.
Afterwards, he became involved in advocating for traditional Indigenous ceremonies and practices to be made available for inmates in Saskatchewan jails and prisons, something he says is key in helping inmates find a better path.
It can be done where you can have a change of heart.
It's also how he became familiar with the Native Brotherhood, a group formed in 1964 that produced a newsletter highlighting common and systemic issues for prisoners, among other advocacy work.
It was a group that was initially formed by Cree-speaking Métis men from Alberta, and they were basically able to gather Indigenous prisoners together to talk about what it meant to practice their culture, their spirituality.
Along with advocating for those practices in the prison system, the group also dealt with topics like supporting each other through family and community separation. The Brotherhood and its work are the subject of a new exhibit featuring writing and artwork from prisoners for the public to view, in hopes of creating more understanding of what prisoners go through both then and now. It showcases pieces from as far back as the 60s and 70s to more recently made artworks from prisoners inside the Saskatchewan Penitentiary.
Not only does it demonstrate the line of cultural resurgence and resilience that is kind of drawn straight through from the 1960s and 70s, but it also points to the fact that there is still an over-incarceration crisis.
Canistino says that especially now with Indigenous overrepresentation in incarceration rates, it can be even harder living on the outside than the inside.
These days they have like parole and so many things you got to abide by, curfews and living with a bracelet on your leg.
In hopes that cultural practices in prisons that groups like the Brotherhood advocated for can and will leave real impacts with those incarcerated today.
That we really have to be working on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to actions from 2015, because a lot of the calls that were made by the Native Brotherhood are echoed in those calls more than 4 decades later.
The Native Brotherhood exhibit will be on display until late summer. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Erica Madarash, CTV News, Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Denair Beach residents gathered yesterday to mark 1 year since the Wolf Fire devastated the community. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, it's a time to reflect and heal.
This was the scene in Denair Beach 1 year ago as the Wolf Fire destroyed more than 200 homes.
It was devastating, absolutely devastating to see that happen.
Carrie Lentowitz lost her home in the fire. This is what she came back to. She says she's currently living with her mom while she, like many others in the community, continues to work through the insurance process.
I've spent over 200 hours on just my contents list alone. And scope of work and all that kind of stuff for my house. I don't even know how many countless hours I've spent on that.
Jennifer Heisert learned she lost her home after being sent this video. She says the uncertainty was the hardest part, but nothing prepared her for what she saw in person.
Very surreal to drive in, and you've seen the videos, but there's no preparing for what that actually is.
Heisert is rebuilding her home after spending a winter in an RV parked inside a warehouse. As recovery continues, homes have been moved into the Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation community in Denair Beach. On the municipal side, the deputy mayor says 11 homes have now been completed, with more on the way.
When you drive into town and you see where we were and where we are,
It's so utterly impressive.
Residents are gathering at the beach to mark 1 year since the fire devastated the area and reflect on how far the community has come.
We have done such a tremendous job here at the village, taking our lives back.
While they're still picking up the pieces, residents say the recovery has shown the strength and resilience of Denair Beach. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
In with Janelle Lippi at Buffalo Pound now, one more time ahead of National Trails Day.
Good morning. We are wrapping things up down at Buffalo Pound, but before we do that, we've got a little bit more to chat about. And of course, I've got Dave here, who is the park manager. Dave, we've had so much fun this morning. It's felt so good to be out in nature like this. Talk to me a little bit about the benefits of enjoying this fresh air during the summer and even the winter.
Oh, no, for sure. From the obvious physical well-being aspect, exercise is an excellent way to look after yourself and keep yourself healthy. These trails, whether you're running, walking, biking, or anything, are certainly a good element to help achieve that. But there's also the mental and there's the emotional well-being that being in nature, we found, just seems to have that healing process, and it's very therapeutic. So if we can play a part in that, that certainly is well within what we want to achieve at Saskatchewan Parks.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge aspect to this all. Now, this isn't a solo project. It takes a lot of people to get things up and running like this. Who's all involved?
For sure. We've got a dedicated member of our maintenance staff who has sort of oversees our trail maintenance program. But in addition to that, we've got trail maintenance agreements with a number of different organizations that help us maintain the vast network of over 30 kilometers of mountain bike trails here for sure. And to offer what we offer in the winter, we wouldn't be able to do that without the support of the volunteer group again. And again, like you said, it takes a village. We would like you to come out in Buffalo Pound. We are offering a guided hike on our Homestead Trail, which goes from our trailhead by the Bison Range all the way to the homestead, and it's guided with our interpreters leading the way.
Amazing, Dave. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us once again. Saturday, National Trails Day. Perfect opportunity to come out and enjoy some sunshine. I gotta go. I feel like something's crawling up my leg.
His voice propelled some of Disney's most powerful songs to the top of the charts. Peebo Bryson's family confirms the singer-songwriter has died after suffering a stroke. For more than 50 years, he lent his silky smooth tenor to iconic soul ballads and R&B classics. Baby, can you stop the rain from falling? Earning him the name The Voice of Love. We'll leave the world behind us. But it was his soaring duets for Disney that brought him global recognition, partnering with Regina Bell on the Grammy-winning A Whole New World from Aladdin. Bryson later sang of this song, "It inspires everyone who listens to it. It represents every hope and promise that you're ever going to make." In 1991, Disney asked Bryson to record a version of Beauty and the Beast, the title song from an upcoming movie, partnering him with an up-and-coming singer named Celine Dion. In 1992, the pair joined Mrs. Potts herself, Angela Lansbury, at the Oscars. Peebo Bryson was 75. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
A Canadian veteran is being recognized as the oldest horseshoe player in the world.
But the accolade is far from the most remarkable thing about Bob.
Keelan's cousin Adam Sawatsky looks into what makes this centenarian so special.
If you ask Bob Curtis about his cap,
I gotta have a look.
he'll tell you.
Not everyone looks this good at 100.
But if you ask Bob about the secret to feeling even better,
100%.
He'll begin that by showing you how he still plays horseshoes a couple times a week.
You know, you try to get better.
And while Bob's too humble to talk about all the tournaments he was named the best, his fellow players, like Dick Stevens, will.
It's unbelievable how he can still throw that shoe. He's a force of nature.
And Bob's also, reports say, now the oldest competitive horseshoe player in the world.
Well, I just ignore it.
While Bob ignores accolades, his younger self couldn't ignore when Canada joined the war.
They need us, we go. You know, no questions asked.
He volunteered to join the Navy and served for years around the Atlantic.
Was a depth charge going off?
While Bob photographed the friends he made,
They're just some of the boys.
He also documented the burials at sea for the ones he lost. By the time the war was over, Bob had learned never to take life for granted.
Don't slow up. Just keep going.
And Bob taught his son Lee, find a positive purpose.
And most days he gets up with a list of things that he wants to accomplish that day. He's typically helping somebody.
When he wasn't helping his late wife of 67 years, Ellie, and their family, which now includes great-grandchildren, Bob was volunteering countless hours at the Horseshoe Club.
He'll get up on the roof, and he's 100 years old, and he gets up on the roof here and works.
It turns out Bob's secret to living 100 happy years isn't just one thing. It's a combination of staying active, being of service, and remaining grateful. Like when the owner of the hat store offers to give you your big birthday ball cap for free.
But I wouldn't accept that. She's got to make a living, too.
So Bob paid her and thanked her before promising to return next year to buy a new one.
A 101.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
I gotta agree, that hat is right on point.
But can you imagine even looking that good at 100 years old?
I just want to be active at that point, you know? You don't want to...
Yeah, I want to be able to move. Yeah.
That's just it. Congratulations to him. He could probably beat me at horseshoes too. Yeah. My goodness. Let's get over to Sidebar for this Wednesday. So I guess there's going to be a lot of tired children in New York tomorrow morning.
Okay, my friends. Executive order is signed. Bedtime is repealed. All of you can watch the finals.
Which all of those children said, what does repealed mean? Mayor of New York signing an executive order. Didn't know they could do that. Banning bedtime during the NBA Finals. Children also stamped the order with their handprints. That's legally binding in my books. Game one between the Knicks and Spurs goes tonight.
I'm not sure that would hold up against a challenge.
I'm not sure that would hold up against the parents.
The parents,
saying,
yeah.
No, go to bed.
Well,
I think that's the challenge. The Knicks are in the final for the first time in many, many years, so they're very excited. Tickets, producer Nathan said some of the tickets are going for $100,000 right now.
Wow.
Which is insane.
Some pocket change.
If you got it, I guess.
All right, let's go now to France. A hospital is using donkeys to help recovering patients. Patients take part by walking one of the therapy donkeys around the hospital grounds, because why would you use a therapy dog when you can use a therapy donkey, I guess?
Yeah.
A patient is paired with the same donkey every time, giving them a chance to develop a bond. Doctors say the bond helps them build confidence and feelings of self-worth. France has funded its animal therapy program since 2022.
So they say the laughter is the best medicine. So, but in this case, it's not ha-ha, it's hee-haw.
Oh, dear.
I came up with that just now. That's not bad.
I mean, it's
for
not,
short
I
notice.
suppose off the cuff. Yeah.
It's not the worst.
What were you doing, 6'7" over there?
No, I'm just saying, I gotta go
It's a 6'7".
home. I'd like to go home.
Okay, Jeremy, one quickly.
All right, bird watchers in Japan are on the lookout for something pretty special. An 8-crested ibis. There's a bunch of them released in the town of Hakui. This was a big deal. Japan Crown Prince and his wife showing up for the ceremony. Now, the ibis was once extinct in Japan, but the birds have made a comeback through breeding. They're waiting to release 10 more, so it's pretty special.
Well, we say good hello and goodbye to our fine feathered friends. We're back here first thing tomorrow.